Yo, what's up? It is Rami or Feedz here, and I'm here with you guys for a Cinema 4D tutorial on, I guess you could say the basic layout of Cinema 4D. And, you open it up, this is what you see, and you're probably wondering, how do I work this? Um, so this is going to be basically covering the basics of GFX, right? So, how to put in your text, how to render things, picture viewer, animation rendering, you have all these different things. And, yeah, so let's get started. So you open up Cinema 4D. Is what you got. So to not import, to have a text, let's say you're doing a text, let's say you're doing a banner, you would go to MoGraph, you go to MoText. Alright, just waiting for it to load. Yeah, since Camtasia, it kind of slows down my computer. Alright, there we go. So there's your text. You're probably like, whoa, that is awesome. But no, it looks pretty ugly. It's pretty solid. Has not much depth to it. It's pretty bland. So you can change it if you want, change the name of it, but there's no really need to. So you want to change the text of it, and just for the sake, I'm just gonna put Feedz because that's my name, right? So that here you are, as you can put your personal text into the text button. Go to font, and this is where you get your fonts. You can have preset ones. You always want to download other fonts because they look much better. Personally, my favorite is Czar. I love that one. You want to align always to the middle. And yeah, that is it for this section. You want to go to caps. Alright, you go to fillet cap on both sides. Go to your radius. Whoa, put your radius and set it to 2 on both ends. Set your end gun to quadrangles. Alright, so that is the basic layout. It looks a little bit better, much smoother, less rigid, not rigid, rigidity. I like to use 50 depth. It looks much better compared to 100. That's too much depth. So 50 is good for me. That's what I like to use. You can use whatever floats your boat. So these pretty self-explanatory. You have the 4 arrows that go up, left, right, and down. And it's not really a rotation tool. It's just different movement. This is to zoom in and zoom out. You can have all the way out, like, whoa, right? But that's not what we're doing. And then you have the rotation tool. And this is to look up, different ends, different sides, how you can, touch things up. This is especially extremely useful when you're doing modeling. Alright? And this is a different angles of whatever you're editing in Cinema 4D. This is the first frontal perspective view. Top, right, and front. Whatever. To go back, I know a lot of people have this trouble once they hit this button, like, oh my god, just go back to here. Right? Okay. So here is your text. Now that probably looks really bland. You want to have some materials on it. Normally, you can just double click. There's your material, and you can change the color to whatever you want. You can have a red, right? Let's say you want a red. You could add some glow. A pretty good glow is, I say, is around 40, and you bring this down to 140. And so you go here. Where is it? Okay. You go here. You right click, and this is basically how you get those different things. Like you can have a knot, or what is that? There's a lot of different things you could do here, and possibilities are endless. Same thing with Photoshop. It goes same thing. You're only limitless to your ideas and your imagination. I'm gonna bump it up just a tad. Okay, no, never mind. No, wrong one. Okay. Take off specular. Add reflection. And I like to use 40%. Okay. And we're gonna cancel out of that. Drag that onto here. I like to use cubic. It looks much better. Cubic, and hit seamless. And now since you're using this, you could either use this, correct? Or you could go to here and go there. But I know you guys are, since you're watching this on Mastery Arts or my channel, that'll probably get uploaded, you probably know a lot more about GFX. But just for that sake, I'm probably gonna use my already preset ones that I have. If you have a lib4d type of file, what you do is you go in your computer, OS, you go to Program Files, Max On, Cinema 4D-R14, Library, Browser. Okay, and this is where you put your stuff in. And yeah. So I'm gonna use something from here. Also, remember when you're doing your materials, you never want to have a solid color like this one. You want to have different ones, right? Like go into here. This is a nice one. It's like a kind of nice grungy kind of feel. It is definitely better, right? Drag that onto there, and then whenever you have a material, especially something of different sorts rather than just a solid color, go to your projection and put it to cubic, and then put your side, no, wrong one, and you want to put it to seamless. Okay, let's see how that looks. Much better, right? Unless you want two colors. Let's say you want two colors on this. Let's say you want one frontal here in the front and something in the back, right? You could just go here. That's a nice material. We'll go there, right? Wait for it to load. You could load now. Okay. Drag it onto there. And what you do is, I think, what's that? It's cubic and frontal. So this is how it looks like by itself. It's really cool. It's really cool texture. But let's say you just want the grunge on the front, and this is on the back. I'm not sure I remember this, but I think it's C1. There we go. Okay, C1. That's how it is. Let's switch this and put this to C1. I'm sorry. Whoa. Capital C1. Gonna work? There we go. Okay. So if you want this, if you want the texture that you want to be the front, you want to put it on the right side. Put C1, and the texture you want behind to the left. Alright, now let's see how this looks. Much better. It is definitely much better. Also, if you're doing lots of GFX, banner designing, or model making, you want to have a Lightroom. You really do need it. It's pretty essential. You know, it just looks so much better, honestly. And then you get into plugins. Then you go to your plugins. Nitroblast is extremely useful. And you have, you know, Greebler, definitely useful. Throwsy, I don't use Throwsy that much. I think it's not that clean, but a lot of people use it. Just depends on your opinion. So that's what's really fun about GFX. It's that no one can simply judge another person's on their design, because everyone has different tastes. Everyone has different theories on their designs and stuff. And Reaper X. Maybe I could do a tutorial on each of these plugins. And actually, I don't know. Maybe I could go over nitroblast now. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Alright. So I'll teach you guys nitroblast right now. Nitroblast. So what you want to do is you want to select your layer. Yeah, so you want to select your layer and Control C, Control V. Alright, I'm gonna teach you how to do that. I'm gonna explain it. It's like fractured pieces behind it. What I like to do is you want to take your original layer. So I'm gonna delete this. Take your original layer, which you started off with. Go to this rotation tool, and you put it back. That's what I like to do. See how that looks? Okay, I like that. So once you have that, maybe a little bit more. Okay, whatever. That's good. Then you want to duplicate the layer. You want to go to your plugins, Nitroblast, and make sure it's Nitroblast main, not bomb cuts or whatever this is. Definitely put it to high, and I like to use around 150. And you want to hit fracture. This is fairly fast. It's definitely a lot faster than Throwsy. They're both fracturing programs or plugins you use, but I really prefer Nitroblast. It's just, I don't know, it's a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. And yeah. Waiting for it to break. Alrighty. Now they're fractured. Let me see this here real quick. Okay, we're good. In case you get this blue-yellow thing that you get around here, that only happens when I think you don't have two complete textures on your layer. So if you have that, do not delete it. Do not delete it. Replace it with the texture you want. Okay? And it'll affect all of these. So don't worry about it. Alright, so once you have this, now you have all these nitroblast files, you go to MoGraph and Fracture. Now you only need one fracture for this. Scroll down and until you get to the dynamic 150 pieces. Go all the way to the bottom, hold shift and press the last one basically. Drag it and go up into the fracture. Okay, now you can delete it because it is no longer of use to you. And then it's basically a repeating process. It's very easy. And it gives a really nice look. If you're beginning to GFX, it's a really nice look. And your materials just makes it even better, you know. Definitely, if you're having things like this, I say either make it a darker color or have a nice glow to it. Almost done. Alright. Whoa, okay. Also, tip. Make sure the arrow is going down, not to the side. Down. That's how you actually get it into a certain place. Rather, the side just moves it. Oh, did I get all of it? Yeah, I did. Okay. And that is the last of it. Now you can delete this, and this is, again, no longer of use to us, and you can delete it. Now once you have this, you go to MoGraph, Effector, and Random. Now you're like, whoa, what is this? Don't fret. Now there's different styles you could do this at. You could have this, you know, kind of like that, and push it, not the fracture, and push it back, kind of get that nice feel. Let me see how this looks. That looks pretty cool. In my opinion, that looks pretty cool. Nitroblast is pretty endless. It's definitely something. I'm trying to think what else we could do. Look at this. You could redo the fracture, or you could redo the nitroblast and put it to 50 pieces rather than 150. And what you get is you see these little chunks. They're even bigger chunks, and they could lay on your text, and it looks really nice. It really gives a nice feel to it, and rather than just some boring, you know, text and, you know, fractures behind it. And always never have your text always facing towards you, because that's a bit too boring. It's really nice to, you know, have a nice angle, right? Something like that. You don't want to just be looking at it like that, right? It's kind of boring. Kind of, you know, something like that. Maybe. Let me select this. Give it a nice angle. There we go. Now let's preview this. There we go. So that's the final result. And remember, not everything you're gonna do is going to be in Cinema 4D, unless that is your objective, and you know you get all the details sorted out in Cinema 4D. Always, you know, you have Cinema 4D is your base. Think of it like that. Cinema 4D is your base, and Photoshop is where you do, you know, the icing on the cake. It's what makes that nice feel. You know, the CCs, you know, the stocks, and all these things that just give it a lot more life. So normally this would actually be pretty good for you to use. You know, I'm trying to think of something. You could add chains to this. You know, you could add gears. You could cut some of the text. Like, let's say you want the F, you could cut it around here, and then, you know, you could put a nice little gear inside, which looks pretty cool. And to render this, once you have this, wow, I'm an idiot. I didn't even go to the render settings first. Okay, so before you do anything in this, I'm an idiot. You want to go to your render settings. To get there, you press this little director's cut thing with the gear on top. Click that. Now you can either go 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. I like 1280 by 720. It just changes sometimes by how I feel. And go to save. Change this to a PNG. And you press this dot 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 kind of symbol right here next to the file. You want to save it onto your desktop. I'm just going to call it tut for tutorial. And put it on alpha channel. Remember this. Don't forget. Go to save. Put it on alpha channel. What alpha channel does is normally Cinema 4D puts a black background behind what you have as a final render. Alpha channel puts it just as this. Okay. So when you go into Photoshop, it's just that. It has no background behind it. It's whatever you make here is what it is. That is as well including lights and floors. Okay. So you want to select alpha channel. Go to analyzing. Go from geometry to best. And I have a glow on here because of this, but you don't really need it. Looks ugly. And you could add ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion, what it does, it kind of, it cleans the spots a bit. It cleans the edges, makes it smoother, makes it look nice. And when you add global illumination, which if you don't have a Lightroom and you're doing this just right off Cinema 4D, I do not recommend this because it'll be all black. This makes the lights kind of have better shadows. It, again, kind of what ambient occlusion does. It cleans the spots a bit, much better quality, but we don't want a black screen, so you're gonna delete that. Ambient occlusion, I don't know, but sure, why not? I think we'll use it. It definitely slows down your render, but I guess I'll show you back and forth after this. So you see how it's a lot slower now. That's why I don't really want to use it for tutorial sakes. It takes a lot of time, but all right. Now you see how much better that looks from before. It definitely gives the quality and detail much higher, much higher. Compare this to this. It's usually when you zoom in on something, it's supposed to be bad quality, I guess, worse quality. But it just, I love ambient occlusion. It just makes it look a lot nicer. Just when you get a good Lightroom with really good settings, it's gonna look even 20 times better than this. Alright, so that is gonna be wrapping it up for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed something out of this. It was good. You liked it. It helped you. If it did help you, please drop a like. It's really good. We're trying to grow this channel out and help people with GFX and show other people's GFX, and just give it a much bigger community. Comment, tell me if I did anything wrong, or maybe if you think that I should have done something that could actually help other people with their GFX. But yeah, so there's gonna be definitely more tutorials out there. Maybe some editing tutorials, because a lot of people like editing, maybe because Master Arts is not just for GFX. It's everything of creativity, and yeah. So I'm gonna end it here, guys, and yeah, have a good day.